podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Welcome to another episode of Humans of Speedway. I'm Ian Brannan, and my guest in this episode is the first female rider to compete in an FIM Speedway World Championship event in the SGP2 in 2022. She's also the first female rider to race for a professional British club in the Workington Comets. She's Celina Liebmann.
They always ride something, but they never see me riding, or they never try the speedway bike. They just talk, but I don't care at all. If I see something better, just like, for me, I don't care. I just do my thing. I love to ride speedway, and if they don't like me, or if they think I cannot ride, that's not my problem.
We'll hear more about how Celina Liebmann deals with her critics, and also how the riders that she beats take it, because it can be quite hard to take sometimes. We'll hear more about that in a little while. And also her plans to become the first women's world champion. There's a championships taking place for the first time in 2024. Celina Liebmann, our guest. International Women's Day is the day that we're releasing this episode. And so we've got an international woman. Celina Liebmann joins us. And Celina makes history, becoming the first female rider to gain a place in the professional level of British Speedway, racing for the Workington Comets in the Cab Direct Championship. And she's also going to be lining up in the Peter Craven Memorial meeting at Bellevue right at the start of the season, up against some of the finest riders in World Speedway. And so that's going to be a fantastic opportunity. We're going to talk about all of that. But first of all, welcome, Celina. And what a year 2024 is shaping up to be for you.
Yeah, of course. I'm really happy that I joined the team Workington in 2024. It was a goal of mine to join an English club. I already talked about it and think about it last year, 2023, because I had this British Open Women Championship, and I get involved to some people and get to know some people, some clubs, some tracks. And of course, I was thinking about how would it be to ride in England. And of course, Katie is riding in the National League this year. I'm really, really happy for her. And I think it's a really good step for women in Speedway. And yeah, Katie and me, we are showing the world that women can ride Speedway as well, right?
And I think everybody's excited to see you. I think, outside the big riders of say Jason Doyle or Ty Woofenden or Matt Sajanowski or any of the other signings this close season, your signing surely has been the most talked about. But I think, am I right in saying that you could have ridden here last year? It was talked about that you were going to sign in at the back end of the season for a side in the championship. So that didn't work out, but that was down to a visa issue, wasn't it?
Yeah, right. I just had a 30 days visum for England, and of course it was a bit of an issue. I didn't understand how it really works with the visa. I didn't understand that it was just for 30 days. So yeah, that's why I was not allowed to ride because of the visa, yeah. But now the visa is sorted and I'm allowed to go and to ride. So everything is fine for this season. I can ride till December there.
Yeah, well, that should cover it. I know our seasons sometimes drag on, but we should be done by December, fingers crossed. Let's get a bit of background to your career, because you come from a motorcycling family, don't you? Your dad was an ice speedway racer, and that's real man's speedway, isn't it? And your mum's involved with motorbikes as well. You've been on a speedway bike for as long as you can remember. So how did it all get started? What's the background?
Yeah. My dad, as you said, is a former ice speedway rider, and my mom rode motocross. So yeah, our family knows how to ride bikes. So yeah, my dad introduced me as a 5-year-old kid to speedway because he was interested in it as well. He doesn't know it. So yeah, we just looked at it and we both thought, yeah, it's pretty cool. And I said, I want to do it. And yeah, since that, I'm riding speedway now 18 years.
Already 18 years you've been riding speedway. That's longer than some riders who their entire careers. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, right. It's my whole life.
See, people don't appreciate this as well, do they? I think, you turn up to a track and they'll see a new rider go round and they sort of assume that it's just been something they've done for a few weeks. But, not just for you, but for every young rider who's, say, in the National League coming through or getting their first opportunity this year, maybe with the exception of someone like, let's say, Ashton Bowden in the UK, who's recently taken to Speedway, but even still, he's been riding bikes ever since being a toddler. And so same for you. What was your earliest memory of getting on a bike? What was your first bike?
My first bike was it's called PW50, and it's a blue bike. It's like smaller than 50 cc, and that's how I started in Olching. And yeah, the greatest thing for me always in the end of the practice day was that we were allowed to go around the whole track. That for me, that was a big thing, because we always did our few tasks in just one corner, because we were so small. It took like a minute to go around the whole track. So that was a great thing for me. And a funny story, by the way, I rode PW50, and it was a race behind real spectators, and there was a girl behind next to the track, and she was waving me, and I was like, ah, and then I crashed.
You've got to always pay attention. You can't go waving at the fans when you're racing.
I didn't know that. No one told me.
You found out the hard way. That's the Speedway way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so PW50 is something that happens a lot in Europe. A lot of European riders do this, and that's maybe the first bike that they would pick up on. And obviously, right, the connection with Speedway is obvious. But in Germany, there are so many different types of Speedway, I think, versus here, where it's very much traditional 300-meter track or something like that with shale. This is Speedway in the UK, whereas in Germany, you've got the long track, you've got, as you say, Ice Speedway, and you've got regular Speedway too, and near Poland, and of course, as well. So there's plenty of Speedway going on, but different types, and some of the track lengths are quite long, quite big tracks you'd be used to in Germany.
Yeah, that's right. And don't forget, we have grass track as well.
Yes, grass track, yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
And yeah, we in Europe, I think we have longer tracks than in the UK. We have like 400 meters, and yeah, it's most of the time it's bigger, like in the UK. Yeah, that's right. But I like to ride both, so I'm fine.
This is it, and I think this is why it's good for any rider, but it'll be good for you as well to ride in the UK, because of the different types of track you'll face. So you go to, in the championship, you go to Berwick, which is probably more like you're used to. It's 400 meters or so, biggest track in the league. And then you're going to go to Plymouth, which is quite the opposite, 200 meters or so. And yeah.
Yeah, I heard. I was there, and yeah, we didn't have practice at all. And I had Norik's bike the first time on the track. And then, yeah, I just rode the race, and my mom was recording it. And then she said, oh, after my race, she said, oh, you were so slow, I can't send anyone.
Oh, no.
Yeah, because it was so different for me, because we have wide and big tracks, and this was really just different to Europe.
Yes, absolutely. Very, very different indeed. Almost like a training track, I think, in some respects for the size and so on. So obviously, you've got family connections, but who have been your mentors, the people who have helped train you? I know Norik is one of your friends, Norik Bladorn, but also I know he's worked with likes of Igor Muller. So are you from the same sort of school?
No. Norik lives in the north of Germany, and I live in the south of Germany, so it's 8 hours. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Not handy.
No. So, to be honest, I haven't had any mentor really, just a few guys who coached me for a bit of time, and then a few years, other one, but it always have been my dad and me, because he has a lot of experience. But sometimes I also feel like, Dad, that's not ice speedway, it's speedway, don't forget it. But it was always our thing, and I don't think I really missed something. So it's always have been my dad and me.
And it's been working. Your progression is great, and you are now at the point where you've gained yourself a team place in Great Britain, and that's on merit as well. I think people can sometimes overlook that. We're recording this on International Women's Day, and so really to address the obvious question, really, and that is, how do you find it making your way in what is such a male-dominated world? There's no getting around it. I know you're not the only female speedway rider in the world, but you are the one that's out there leading the charge. But, there's male riders everywhere. Clubs are run by guys, largely, not in every case, obviously, but, it is a massively male-dominated sport. The first question, I guess, that comes up, people will say that, you don't have the strength to hold onto the bike. You don't have the muscle and all that. But it's not about that, is it? So just to address that situation first up, that it's technique is more important than strength. Discuss.
Right. So I think it doesn't matter which gender you have, because, Katie can do it. I can do it. I don't know. Nori can do it. So I don't think that really matters, because as you said, stretch isn't like the whole thing. Not if I'm stronger than Norik doesn't mean I win against Norik. That's not how it works. So, and of course, it also doesn't, if Norik wins with his bike, doesn't mean I can win with his bike. It's just, you have to find a good way. You have to find peace with your bike, with yourself. And it's all about body movement and style and stuff. It's not only the stretch, of course it is important, but you don't have to go every day to gym that you can be successful in speedway. That's not really the big part.
Why do you think it's taken until now, into the 2020s, and certainly in the UK till 2024, for a professional rider such as yourself, you're the first? Why do you think then it's taken until now for this to come on? Do you think there's just been a general lack of opportunities offered to female riders, or there's just not been enough of them, or what do you think it is? What makes you the first?
It's right. There are not enough. And I think some girls, we have a lot of girl juniors in Germany, but most of them stop in 125 or 250s or begin to ride 500 and then they just leave. The thing is, we have like 80% boys and just 20% girls. And the half of both genders will stop riding, because that's how it is in every sport. And then we just have 10 girls, 10% left with the girls, but we have 40% in for the boys. So yeah, you know what I try to say.
Yeah, so you're saying that half of the people, whether they're boys or girls, are gonna quit at some point. Speedway, they're going to give it up, and so it's a relatively small fraction that make it as a speedway rider, as a professional rider, and because there's only 20% of all of that are females, by the time we've whittled it down, there's very few that are actually going to get as far as the 500s and then be it of a standard to take it anywhere. What do you think then happens at the 500cc level if you've got these riders that are coming in, female riders that are coming in, even though there's less of them? Why are they giving up at 500cc? What happens there?
Yeah, it's serious, and you have to ride with the elbows, and that's some girls doesn't like it, and I know some girls just stop because of that, because they said, oh no, I don't want this, I don't want to they touch me or something. So it was just Yeah,
it just starts to get a little bit scarier at 500cc. So you've made it, though. You like getting that back wheel in the dirt and going round the boards and getting some speed up as well. Now, I know that you've ridden some of the British tracks. Is it correct that, and this is what I've heard, that you did some laps at Redcar, and they timed you in a heat that you did at Redcar the day after a regular meeting, and that you did that heat on a track that hadn't been prepared in the same time that Danny King did it the day before?
Yeah, that's similar what they said to me. They said your time was good as the day before. So I didn't know which time it was. So you said it was Danny King. So yeah, I love riding bikes and I love the speed. I feel free when I ride speedway. Just there's nothing in my head anymore. It's just speedway, and so I give everything into it. As I said, it's my whole life, so I love it.
Yeah, and why not? It's clear that this, you love speedway. You're a massive speedway fan, and you've actually had the guts to get on the bike and give it a go, and you're giving it a go, and you're doing well with it. Can we mention what we call the keyboard warriors? Social media can be a fantastic thing, but it can also be, our worst enemy too. There's no shortage of experts in speedway. Scroll down the comments of any meeting that you're going to be riding at, and there will be someone soon who's there to tell you that you've got to do this and you've got to do that, and you've got to prove something to someone, or you've got to prove something to someone else, or whatever. How do you deal with that side of it, of dealing with these people who are there to queue up to tell you that you can't do something?
Yeah, they always write something, but they never see me riding, or they never tried a speedway bike. They just talk, but I don't care at all. If I see something better, just like, Jesus, what are they talking about? They don't know how it really works and talk. But for me, I don't care. I just do my thing. I love to ride speedway, and if they don't like me, or if they think I cannot ride, that's not my problem. So if the team is satisfied with me and I'm satisfied, then everything is fine, right?
Well, indeed, and other riders don't get this pressure. Another new rider, another German new rider coming in who'd, doing well in the under-21s in Germany, who's had SGP2 experience or whatever, would not be coming into a team in the championship as a reserve with this, it's a big season, you've got a lot to prove, They wouldn't be having that conversation. It just would not happen. It's, I don't know. How do you what's your response to it? Do you talking on the track?
Yeah. The best thing is to say nothing and just show them on the track. That's the best thing you can do. If they talk and say, you don't get points or blah blah, then I just like, okay, and then I will just show them on track. So,
and you've had some big victories in your career over the time, haven't you? You've claimed a few scalps and spoiled a few male speedway riders' days. Which victories, which names are you the most proud of getting the better of on track?
A few already. I beat Marty Cieniak in the 250s and Mateusz Szczepaniak last year. Yeah, it was just a few. And they are always like, oh no, why? Yeah, they always, oh, no, just 1 point. And why against Celina? Why? We always laugh about it because for them, it's some of them really just, it's fun for them as well.
They might take a little while to live it down, that's for sure. Celina Liebmann is our guest in this episode of Humans of Speedway, a bit of a International Women's Day special with an international woman who's going to be riding in British Speedway with the Workington Comets in 2024. And we'll have more from Celina in just a moment. Welcome to Humans of Speedway. I'm Ian Brannan. Don't forget to check out more Speedway podcast entertainment on the Sports Social Podcast Network, not least the official British Speedway podcast, No Brakes, No Fear, which is back now every single week through the Speedway season. The first episode, we chat to two at the very top of the sport in this country with Phil Morris, the Premiership CEO, and Rob Godfrey, the chairman of the BSPL, in the first episode, which is available available now. And don't forget as well, Round the Boards, also part of the Sports Social Podcast Network. Join the guys every week for some top interviews and their reaction to everything that's happening on a weekly basis as well through the course of the season. Right now, we're joined by someone who's going to be involved in one of the very first meetings in 2024, certainly the biggest one in the early stage of the season, the Peter Craven Memorial Trophy. Celina Liebmann becomes the first female to join that lineup. We'll talk more about that fairly soon, but you're no stranger to riding at the top table of Speedway. You've had your chance in SGP2 a couple of years ago, and that must have been an amazing experience, just to be there, just to be part of the day. So unlike any other Speedway meeting, the Grand Prix day, isn't it? And there's a lot to take in. Aside the racing itself, the whole day is pretty demanding.
Yeah, it was awesome. Really, just the time schedule was crazy. You really have to remember the times, because it was really like there is an appointment, and there is no time to be late. You have to be in time, because if you're not in time, you really get in trouble, and that's not how it is in a normal race day. So, but it was a really good experience, and I really liked everything around it. It was just great, and I was so happy as I got the call up for it. So yeah, it was a big thing in my whole career.
And you went out there and you scored points. You got 4 points on the board. Your mission was to get on the board, and you did. And it was at Prague, wasn't it? Was that a track that you'd ridden before at Prague?
Yeah, it was Prague. I have been there before, but it was really other conditions like it was in that night. As I rode there before, it was in 2017 for the 250s World Championship, and the track was hard and slick, and it was dusty. And yeah, in the night for the SGP2, it was wet and really grippy, and yeah, it was hard for everyone, I think, really challenging. But I was happy that I scored points. That was the goal. I just said to my dad, I don't want to go home with 0 points. That's really important for me. So of course I'm satisfied with my 4 points, but I wish it was better conditions.
Yeah, not much you can do about that. You can just ride what's put out in front of you, unfortunately. But good on you for giving it a go and getting some points on the board. We talked about your background, but to the present day, who are your Speedway influences? Who do you look up to and maybe model yourself on a little bit, or take advice from even? Who have you got in your corner in the world of Speedway now?
As I was younger, it was always Lukas Fienhage from Germany. He's an absolutely good rider, and he always was successful. But yeah, I think now it's Greg Hancock. He told me a lot of things and good advices, and yeah, I really like his style, and he always tried to help me. I can write him if I need anything. I can send him video, and he tried to help me. So yeah, he's a really, really good guy, and he had great success. So yeah, he's a big idol.
Yeah, fantastic. And he's been fantastic with so many riders as well, and helping yourself, but helping many others. William Cairns is one that's been over there, a British rider, huge talent for the future. Yeah, he's going to have a big say in the next generation of Speedway, that's for sure. How do you feel now, though, Celina? You are the one that any female riders, however old they are, they might be 7, 8 or 9, just getting on a bike for the first time, or even ones older than that, much older than that. You are showing that this is all possible, that you can get a team place, that you can ride international meetings with the guys. That's got to be, a proud thing for you, that you are this figurehead now, and you're breaking down these barriers.
Yeah, really, really, really good. And I always try to help the little ones, because I want them to go on, and because it's a great sport, and we need young riders. So I always love to help them and give them some tips, and yeah.
And when you were younger, you were coming through these ranks as a young rider. What was your aim? Did you think that this is something you could do professionally? When did it get serious, and where did you hope you could go with Speedway?
It was always Poland, But then I also start to think about England. So there was steps I want to reach in my career. So Poland and England to ride leagues, but of course my biggest goal is to be a world champion. I already got silver in 2017 in Pardubice, but it's just silver, I want gold.
And am I right in saying that there's a women's world championship taking place this year? And so we will have a women's world champion.
There is this year the first time. So that's my chance. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so it's on then. You could be world champion. That'd be tremendous, wouldn't it? I mean, obviously, you're going to have some tough competition as well. So when's that happening then?
Yeah, it's the third women's academy. It's held in Tetero in the north of Germany. So we will have 2 or 3 days practice. I think 2 days practice, and then we will have the World Cup. And before there will be the SGP3 qualification. And yeah, in the evening we will have our World Cup. So, and as I know, Katie will take part as well.
Wow. Okay. So that's going to be one to watch, isn't it? In later this year in Tetero in Germany. So you are a German rider, though. Do you have any home advantage? Do you feel at Tetero, or is that not a track that you really know very well?
Yeah, of course I know the track, but it's far. It's in the north. It's 8 hours. So yeah, I've been there a few times, but just once with the 500. Yeah, but of course, and I know the track. I know the track. It's Germany. I don't care where it is. I just want to win it.
Yeah, well, I think we'll be looking forward to that then for you, because I'm sure the army of Workington fans will be on your side for that one as well, for sure.
Yeah, hopefully.
And it's a big year for Speedway in Germany, with obviously the Grand Prix moving to Landshut this year as well, isn't it? So that's a bit more Bavaria, isn't it? So looking forward to that.
That's just 1 hour.
Oh, that's near for you. Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Yes, that's going to be good.
I've been riding there a lot of times already. I like Landshut. I started racing. I started riding Speedway in Olching, but then I changed my club to Landshut because I got more help there. But then it stopped, and then I went back to Olching. So it was a few years. It was my home track. So it's a great track. Yeah,
looking forward to that. And Kai Hülkenberg in the Grand Prix as well now. So there's German interest there, and and German Speedway on the whole seems to be a bit more in the right direction. We've got in this country, of course, Eric Riss. He's not actually riding in any of the teams at the moment, I don't think. But he has done over the years, and he's looking to get back in probably when people inevitably start getting injured. And then Kai Hülkenberg and Norik, of course. It seems to be going in the right direction there.
Yeah, of course. The whole Germany, the managers and the coaches try to push Team Germany. Because Germany is not the best country in Speedway. It's Poland, it's England, it's Denmark, and we are way behind. So they try to help us as good as possible and try to push us. We wanted to do a team practice in Lunigo in Italy this year, earlier in February, but due to rain it got cancelled. So. Yeah, but we try to do it again, maybe next month or something. So we try to do it and try to push and help us.
Do you think there's an outside chance of you getting a call up for the Speedway of Nations?
I don't think so. But of course, I would like to go there. But I think Manchester is good because Norik knows the tracks, so. He could tell the Germans the setup and how to ride the track, right?
Yeah, it's a good point about Norik. He's certainly done a few laps around there, hasn't he? But
just a few.
Just a few.
Yeah.
I like Norik. He's quite a character, isn't he? Yeah, he's with his Crocs and his liking for cats.
Crazy. just crazy. We had a fitness weekend in Abensberg, and he was singing and dancing, and all eyes on Norik.
Yeah, he's kind of a cool, sort of understated guy, but when you start talking to him, it's always fun. And you've ridden some of his bikes, I think, haven't you, in the past when you've been? Because obviously, until now, you've been just coming into the country to ride. So, what's the situation now preparing for racing with Workington? You've got machinery over here now, and what's your setup, and how's everything going to work?
As I came last year for the Women's Academy in Manchester, we bring my third bike as well. So we just drove with the van to Manchester and bring 3 bikes and take 2 bikes at home again. So we leave 1 bike there. So there's already 1 bike of myself. And yeah, I bought Katie's 2 chassis. So I will have 3 bikes there, and I bought an engine as well. So yeah. So everything is there already, just tools are left and air cooler. So we will bring everything with the van for the Peter Craven Memorial. And then after the memorial, we will bring it to Workington in the workshop. And yeah, then everything is there. But my bikes are there already.
Awesome. So you've got a base at Workington. You've got a mechanic and everything there who's going to look after all your gear while you're going to be flying in and out. Is that the plan?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
So, and obviously with Workington, you've done some laps there already. You did the Women's Academy or the British Women's Series there last year. So you've got some experience of the track already.
Yeah, I really like the track. My favorite track now is Manchester, but Manchester, it's first league. I want to start, of course, in the second league. I want to score points, improve myself there. So Workington is a really, really great track. I like it. You don't have to push it too hard. You can just go on, and yeah, I like the track. So I got 2 offers in the end of the season 2023, and I thought it would be good to go to Workington also because I know the track and I know I like the track, and I think it's good to have a home track that you like and love to ride.
Celina Liebmann is our guest on this episode of Humans of Speedway. She's going to be lining up in the Peter Craven Memorial meeting, which is coming up in March at the National Speedway Stadium. We'll talk about that fairly soon, and we'll talk about how British Speedway might compare with Polish Speedway, where she's been riding in the Under-24 League. All that on the way on Humans of Speedway. You're listening to Humans of Speedway. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the podcast so that when we drop any new episodes, then you don't miss them. But there's plenty of previous ones to check out. Don't miss Peter Adams, Wolves legend, Hans Nielsen, Craig Ackroyd, the referee, Alan Rossiter, Ben Cook. There's so many to go at. Have a look back through the previous episodes if this is your first time listening to the podcast. We're joined right now by Celina Liebmann, who is making history in British Speedway, becoming the first female rider in the professional leagues, racing for Workington. But Celina, you've also been busy last year. You've been in the Polish Under-24 leagues. You've done SGP2, but just on Poland for the moment. How do you think that, from your limited experience so far, I admit, but how do you think Speedway is going to be in Britain versus what you've been used to racing in Poland and on the continent? Because you must have spoken to people like Norik and so on who've given you an insight into life here and how it is.
In England, it's like if you have a club and if you sign for a club, you are allowed to ride. And in Poland, it's not that how it works. They can sign 15 riders, and yeah, maybe you have a go or maybe not. So they always say the week before if you're in the team or not. So it's a bit different, but the riders are pretty good there. Some of them already ride an extra league in the under 21 position or under 24 position. So they are quite good. It hasn't been a good year for me. We had some engine problems because I got a new engine and we really didn't know the engine and we had some problems with the setup. So, but now we talked a lot with our tuner and try to change things in the engine. And on Saturday we go to practice and my tuner will come with us and see how it works now. My practice last weekend in Gorichan went really well. I was really happy about my engine, so I hope it helps now. And
Okay, and I mean, something that's been mentioned by other riders, like Ty Woofenden, for example, has said that, you know, he actually enjoys riding back in this country again because it's fun. And Emil Sayfutinov has said the same, that, you know, it's sort of an enjoyable place to race speedway. There's a bit less pressure on you rather than having everything sort of overanalyzed. You just go out and race and enjoy. So is that something you've heard about?
That's what Norik said as well. Because last year I was really trying to push him and tell me how we will do it with the bikes. Tell me about that. And he was always just relax and calm down and they will help you. There's no need to worry and someone will do it. And I was like, no, I need to know, but because that's how it works over here. You really need to have your mechanic. You need to have your stuff. You need to have everything. And he just said, no, in England, if you don't have something, another one will give you, or if you have problems with your mechanic, another one will help you. It's not so hard.
Yeah, I've seen some crazy things in British Speedway where, I mean, even last year where, who was it? Connor Bailey wasn't happy with his bike. We were doing this on BSN, and it was at Redcar. He'd bashed his bike, he crashed. And basically they took the engine out of one bike and put it in the next one. And they did it like during the break in the track grade. And there was like the whole team were around there with spanners, taking the bike apart, putting the bike back together, new engine in, chain on, back wheel on, and he's back out riding again in 5 minutes, you know. So maybe that's something you would not see in Poland.
Yeah, right. Because they are just everyone against everyone and everyone scores points for themselves, but not for the team. Everyone works for himself. So I really would like if it's different in England because I like the team spirit. And I had a best friend in Speedway. He doesn't ride anymore, but we always change bikes. If he crashed and needed a bike, I just said, yeah, you can have mine. That's if you need a bike and I have two, so I just need one, then take it. So I think that's how it should work, and everyone can support each other and try to help.
Yeah, it is a different scene, and I think, you know, one that is going to allow you to further learn as well, you know, in your speedway career. Now, on that note, you have the most amazing opportunity now. I guess this is probably the biggest meeting you've ridden in to this point. The Peter Craven Memorial at Bellevue, Monday, March 18th. And an amazing lineup. Freddie Lindgren, Max Frick, Dan Bewley, Luke Becker, Brady Kurtz, Jamin Lidsey, Jason Doyle, Connor Mountain, Norik Bladorn, Robert Lambert, Matsej Janowski, Connor Bailey, Ben Cook, Chris Harris and Niels Christian Iversen. And you, Celina Liebmann, are joining the lineup as well. So, I mean, what an experience this is going to be.
Yeah, it's great. Really, really big names. And of course, I really look forward to the race. You know, Manchester is my favorite track, so I feel really confident with it. So I just try to get some points and try to race against them and try to challenge them a bit. So I think it's the best race I will ever race. So of course Pardubice is a big meeting every year, and I've been there since a few years. But the Peter Craven is another big step.
And a lot's been made that you will have never faced a rider like you're going to face in the Peter Craven meeting, but that's not true, is it? You have faced at least one of the riders in the Peter Craven lineup before.
Yeah, I raced against Jason Doyle in Debrecen in Hungary.
And how did that go? And isn't there a story that goes with that experience as well?
Yeah, of course it was better for him, but it was funny because we don't get practice there, and I forgot my gloves. So I had them, but I had two lefts. So I was just 1 minute left, and I was like, I can't ride without. And then I ran to Jason and said, can you borrow me just a pair of gloves, please? And then he just gave me his. And after the race, he said, I can take it. And yeah, now it's mine.
Wow, that's a good souvenir, isn't it? And did you just keep them, or have you raced with those gloves since?
Yeah, I rode with them in the under-21 German Championship, and I got second, and Nori got third on that day. So
wow, awesome!
It was a bit of luck, right?
Well, you could say luck or skill, but certainly they haven't done something bad, are they? So, are you going to wear them again?
Yeah, maybe I should. Maybe I should ride with them in the Peter Craven.
Yes, you could race against Jason Doyle wearing his own gloves.
Hey, you remember?
Even better if you beat him too. So the Peter Craven meeting, obviously, it's a very, very tough lineup. I don't think you'd be under any illusion. You're a realist that you're not the favourite for the event, but. This is all great experience for you, and I guess, is it a similar mindset to when you were in SGP2, that you pick up a few points and that'd be a good evening's work?
Yeah, right. That's my aim. I don't like to think about big things. What is really just a step too far away. So I think it's not right to think about the win, because maybe I can think about it in a few years, but for now, it's good to think about a few points and try to challenge them. And yeah, so I think that's a good aim for the beginning.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing, and it's going to be a thrilling end as to whoever's in the final. I think it's 6-rider final, and guaranteed to be one of the more thrilling races you'll see all year for sure. And just continuing that theme, then, what is your aim generally this season with Workington? You come in on a 4 average, but what is your plan there? What would a good season with Workington for you look like?
I want to try to push my average a bit higher. Yeah, the points are the important thing, right? So I try to get as many points as possible for me and for the team, and I look forward to it, and I think we will have a good season there. And yeah, let's see what happens.
It's a mixture of youth and experience, as we'd say, in the Workington team. You've got Sam McGurk, who's been there already in the last season. You've got Tate Zischk, Antti Vulas, yourself. But then you've got riders who have been right to the very top at some point in terms of the world table of being in the Grand Prix. Craig Cook and Troy Batchelor there to bring that experience. So you surely you will be able to learn from those riders in particular. Yeah,
I think the same. And I think like Tate and Antti and me, we can learn a lot from Troy and Craig. So they will tell us how to ride the tracks, what to do with the setup, and I think that's a great opportunity for us young riders to get involved in such a great league and to improve ourselves.
And Workington, though, a great speedway town, and I think there's many places you can go and ride speedway, but I think going to Workington is a good move for you at this stage of your career. It's going to be a supportive place, I think, a great track, say a town that's just full of speedway fans, and they've got a great history over the years as well. So they're going to be well supported, whether you're home or away. You can be sure there's going to be plenty of people with the Workington Comets scarves and hats and coats or whatever it is they're wearing as well. So I think it's going to be a fun year.
Yeah, that's right. But I really look forward to get to know all the people, and of course we riders like if we have a lot of supporters. So if there are a lot of people who will support us, so I think the whole team is happy about it. Of course that pushes us, and we try to get points for us, for the team, and also for our fans.
Well, absolutely, and I'm sure you're going to be a hit with the fans as well. on and off the track, and really just say thanks for joining us, and all the best for the season ahead, Celina, both with the Workington Comets, with your appearance at the Peter Craven meeting as well, and everything else you get up to on the continent too, racing in the Polish Under-24 League, and your chance to be potentially the first women's world champion as well later in the year. So a big season ahead, and really appreciate you joining us, especially on for International Women's Day as well. Celina Liebmann, thank you.
Thank you so much, and I'm happy to see you all guys in England and really look forward.
The first female rider in professional speedway in British Speedway in 2024 as a Workington Comet, Celina Liebmann, joining us on Humans of Speedway. Thanks to you for listening to this episode. Don't forget the previous chats we've had recently. Carl Howarth was the previous one before that. He's also got a meeting at the start of the season celebrating his testimonial right at the beginning of things on the 14th of March. We also recently spoke to the USA captain Gino Manzares. Charles Wright, another rider with his testimonial coming up the day before that Peter Craven Memorial meeting. We also recently caught up with Peter Adams, of course, legendary team manager of not just the Wolverhampton Wolves, but the Coventry Bees and the Cradley Heathens over the years as well. Hans Nielsen, the four-time world champion, Brady Kurtz, Craig Ackroyd, Ben Cook and Alan Rossiter from this series and from the previous series. The likes of Danny King, Steve Worrell, Justin Sedgman, and even from The Apprentice, for 2 weeks only, Paul Bowen. We had a chat with him as well about his plans for electronic speedway. So catch up on those at your leisure, and we'll join you very soon for another episode of Humans of Speedway.
Sports Social Podcast Network.